Welcome to another episode of DreamDivorce.tv. This is a YouTube channel that I assume you're watching because you're getting divorced, which I'm sorry about that. I'm not getting divorced, but I've been divorced a bunch of times, and sometimes what we do here is that I take a beating so you can learn something without having to go through what I did. Maybe today is going to be one of those things. Yeah, I'm definitely going to take a beating. Whether you learn about it or not, I think that's going to be up to you. So I said at the top that I was going to take a beating in this episode, which I guess is true. What this thing is really about, this episode, is what I learned about anger from my second divorce. Before my second wife and I were divorced, we went to therapy to try to work things out. And, one of the things that she said to me was that she had a problem with my anger problem. And I said, anger problem? What do you mean anger problem? I don't have an anger problem. Come on, man. What are you talking about? At least I said that. Actually, I did. I really denied it. I denied it over and over, even though she tried to convince me. That was just denial and stubborn. But also I denied it because I honestly felt like I wasn't angry. I wasn't. What was I angry about? I wasn't angry about anything. I didn't think I was angry. I didn't feel angry. She said I was angry. We got into fights about it. It was dumb. Is this a downer episode? I feel like I'm being a downer, but I don't mean to be a downer because this is actually an important discovery that I made about myself. And then after we separated and got divorced, I went back actually to see the same therapist. One day we were talking and she said that, that I could be scary. Like my ex-wife said that I could be scary. And I got upset, man. And I was like, what? Why do people keep saying this about me? This is not right. I don't feel this way. You're accusing me of something that's not really true. What's going on? And I looked over at her and she looked scared. She was sitting in the chair and I could tell that her eyes were a little wide and she had pulled back a little. And eventually I started to understand, and she really helped me, that I had these moments, all kinds of moments, but moments in the relationship and the marriage where I felt unheard and ignored and invalidated, and that touched and hurt a really old part of me, well, actually a young part of me from a long time ago. And that little kid was the kid who was reaching out. And actually, in those moments when I started to feel, or when he started to feel unseen and invalidated and invisible, for him it's like a life-threatening thing. He felt desperate, like a kid that gets lost on the beach, or a baby that gets left somewhere and his parents don't come back. You panic. And so that's what I was experiencing. I wasn't angry. I was terrified. I was desperate. I was panicked. And I didn't realize that what my wife and my therapist saw was an agitated, angry man. That was hard. It took a long time. I was shocked. I was shocked because I didn't see myself as angry. I didn't think I was angry. I wasn't angry. But that's not what they saw. And I had to accept. And that's when I got this guy. The baby Hulk. It's a Lego. It's a Lego Hulk keychain now that I carry around with me all the time to remember and remind myself that this is the little guy who gets terrified. This is the button that gets pushed. This guy gets terrified. He feels abandoned. He feels vulnerable. He feels helpless and desperate. And he does what any baby does. He reaches out and thrashes and screams, but he's not a baby. He's powerful and strong. And that means he's terrifying and potentially destructive. And this is the guy that's inside me. This is my inner child, one of my inner children. One of my inner childs is this, the baby Hulk. I'm not proud of this. It's not like I'm going to spin this episode and say, oh yeah, so here's the friendly, happy lining that comes out of this thing. Not really. I mean, it made me more conscious and aware of that little kid inside that gets scared and needs help. And what does he need? It's taken me a long time to, I'm still working on him, actually. He showed up recently. And, yeah. Somebody tried to tell me that I was something that I didn't think I was. And I lost it. It was this kid. It was bad and wrong. Wasn't helpful. I'm trying to deal with this kid with compassion. Maybe this is you. Maybe you know somebody like this, somebody that can't see themselves exactly. And that's always the most difficult thing for us to do, is to see ourselves clearly. I guess my suggestion would be, as you're getting divorced, try not to blame the things that you feel and the things that you did. Try not to blame those on the other person. No matter how wrong they are. Little baby Hulk. This is the me that goes berserk, goes wild. Hasn't hurt anybody, but there's always the possibility, and it sure seems that way. Now, if you've been watching more than one episode, or maybe this is your first episode, thank you. Would you please consider subscribing and or just sending us some feedback? Send me some feedback. And if you think I suck, you have to really tell me. Like, don't watch my thing and say, wow, this guy's awful, and then not tell me that you think that I'm awful. Suggest something that you'd like to have help with or see me talk about. That would be great. You could do that. I take requests. DreamDivorce.tv. Love your divorce for the rest of your life. Did I say that already? The rest of this channel, I am going to help you make the most of your divorce. This is actually part of it. Making the most of your divorce is experiencing some difficult things that help you grow, that you didn't want and you didn't ask for, and that are pushed in your face or slipped under your ribs. Yeah, and that's what divorce gives you, and you can either let that crush you and your spirit, and you will never love again, or you'll never smile again, or whatever the hell you want to do to crawl back and never come out again. Or you can eventually get up and keep going and build a new life for yourself. Yeah, that I think is better, stronger. Better, stronger, happier. I think all those things are possible after a divorce. Yeah, that's the message here. That's the uplifting message. These things suck. Learning that you are an asshole is not necessarily fun. But I'm a better asshole now than I was before. All the other people who've broken up with me tell me that. This is hard, actually. A little harder than I thought it was going to be to make a bunch of YouTube videos about my past divorces. I thought, like, okay, I'm not getting divorced anymore. I lived through it. Everything's cool. I'm just going to help these poor schmoes. They're getting divorced. But then as I keep making these videos and thinking about the things and the stuff I screwed up, it's actually a little bit harder on me than I thought it was going to be. Oh my God, why am I doing this at 11 o'clock at night? Oof. The reason I'm doing it at 11 o'clock at night is because that's when these things irritate me, and so that's when I talk about them. Oh well. I'm going to say that's probably useful too. I can grow from that, right? Anyway, this is dreamdivorce.tv. Love your divorce for the rest of your life.